Oh hey, how you doing everybody? Great to see you here. We are out barbecuing today, and as you can see, we have got some baby back ribs. Baby back. Oh, baby back. So, we're going to be doing ribs today, and yeah, we've done ribs in the past, probably more than once if I remember correctly.
2-3 times.
Yeah, but today's recipe for ribs, just going to be a whole different something we got going on. So, we're going to not show you a lot about the ribs themselves because you've been very familiar with that. If you haven't seen rib videos on our channel before,
shoot. Almost dropped my phone.
please go back and watch them because they are educational, right? So yeah, all I'm doing here is I'm just looking at these ribs, just checking them out. And there you can see there's a pretty good amount of marbling, but not any huge fat spots. This one's got a huge fat spot, so I'm just going to try to trim that a little bit. And anything else that's like a hanging flap or something similar, we've tried to trim that off a little bit, but not too much trimming going on because these are done pretty well by the butcher. So yeah, pretty easy stuff. Before we get into this, I want to make sure that you guys know that this inspiration for us, and I don't have the recipe, but the inspiration was given to us by our good friends once again down at the Storage Brats there in South Carolina. He was telling me about some ribs that he made for some friends, and I said, you know, that sounds like a heck of an idea. I want to try that because I like doing different things, you know that. So we got our ribs right here, trimmed up, ready to go. We just patted them off a little bit, get the excess moisture off of them. We pre-made a dry rub for them. One of the things we're not putting in this dry rub today is brown sugar, because what we're going to be doing later, we'll add our sugar that we need. Now you've seen us do the demembraning of these before. I'm going to try to do it once again because, you know, a lot of people that cook ribs will tell you, well, you got to leave the. Excuse me a minute. I need more towels.
It's messy.
Yeah, well, it isn't that. It's I can't grip these things because they're slippery.
That too.
Yeah, so we need to have a paper towel. A lot of people say, well, you got to remove the membrane. Other people say, well, you can't remove the membrane and dry ribs out. Well, if you cook them properly, you don't have to worry about that part. But I do find that the flavor penetration tends to be a lot better when I remove the membrane. So I remove the membrane. Because let's face it, your dry rubs and your other things that you put on here aren't going to want to go through this tough skin, this tough membrane so good. So we like to do that. And yeah, it will hold some more moisture in that, but again, with the techniques we're using today, that shouldn't be an issue.
I mean, usually the ribs that you make with the membrane even off just slide off the bone.
Sliding off the bone, that's right. So, boy.
I think they're pretty moisturized.
I'm kind of going in a different direction here. I'm kind of squirreling out.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the technique we're using today, or the techniques we're using today, you've seen us do marinates before with ribs. We're not marinating. You've seen us do injections before. We're not going to do injections either. This is literally going to be misting or spritzing or adding moisture content as they cook, probably every 30 minutes or so. And then it's going to be adding our flavors probably about halfway through the cook or so. Make sure that we get the yumminess that we're looking for. And you see how these things just like to fight. And I'm no expert at this, not to mention it's about 30 degrees out and my hands are freezing. So they're not working the best. There, we got one of our membranes off.
Probably going to be the last gorilla in the year.
I think this is going to be our last outside cook for the year. And I know what you're thinking. Well, you can still cook when it's cold, and you can still.
Do you want to be out here when it's below zero?
Well, you know what though? They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
Yeah.
I absolutely can cook when it's this cold. It's hard on my body, but I can still do it. The biggest problem that I have with being out here, other than being just downright frigid.
It's sunny out, so it's not
yeah, it's
bad.
not bad today, and the wind's not blowing, so we've got a couple of things going for us. But the hardest thing is, and we found this out in our more recent videos,
the
cabbage and the bologna
one.
videos, yeah, is we have a hard time holding temperatures on our grills. Now, when we did those videos, it was very windy that day, so that made it a lot harder than it even normally would just by the temperatures. But yeah, this one's stubborn.
And it was dark by the time we got done.
Yeah, well, there's that too.
Hopefully this won't happen.
We do have a lot shorter daytime
Yeah, it gets dark by like 4:30.
That's right. So we're out here at 10 in the morning trying to get started so we can hopefully have this done before it gets dark. And we have lights set up in the shed, so in the event that happens, we can...
It just won't be as good quality.
Yeah, right, exactly. And we like to bring good videos, so...
We do our best.
We do our best to bring...
I know they're not perfect.
Hey, you're doing a fine job.
You
doing a fine job. Who's the editor?
Scooby.
Scooby's the editor. There you go. All right.
Scooby the editor.
We got that all taken care of. We're gonna put our dry rub on. Before we do, though, I'm gonna get our charcoal. We've had this sitting in our basket for a little while, trying to get this heated up. We've also got a very large chunk of apple wood in the box as well. So we're gonna try to use that for smoking.
Cozy over here.
Yeah, it gets nice and warm real quick when you got this thing going. There we go. And we're probably going to be out here for a neighborhood of 6 hours, so we're probably going to have to add some more fuel to that.
Nice and ashy out here.
And run this thing just about wide open just to keep the temperatures up, and we'll adjust accordingly. We're getting the hang of this old girl. She does a good job. All right, let me get my soda out of the way. Excuse me.
Soda brick.
All right, get that out of the way. So what we're going to do now is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to be adding dry rub. Now you've done this before, you've seen this done before. Dry rub's pretty easy. Again, we mix this up ahead of time because we've done a lot of dry rubs on videos before, and you don't need to watch us do that over and over again. But if you're wondering what the dry rub is, it's probably about 2 to 3 tablespoons of paprika, 2 to 3 tablespoons of garlic powder.
Oh, it's making me want to sneeze.
Yeah, I know. Tablespoon of ground black pepper, probably a half a tablespoon of white pepper, a couple tablespoons of onion powder, some cumin, some coriander. One thing I did add to this that I don't normally add, but I'll tell you the reasons why. So we added some celery salt. Now you guys know, if you've watched any of our videos, that I don't use a lot of salt in my cooking because of my bad ticker. The celery salt does give us a little bit of salt, which you do want with pork, because that helps sweat the outside and give you that nice outside crusty type of thing going on. But more importantly than that, the celery salt actually gives you another layer of flavor that you wouldn't get just from plain old salt. So we get a 2-for-1 that way. Twofer. And you can go out and buy the stuff in the store like we've talked about before. If you prefer to not make your own dry rubs and want to just get something off the shelf, you can do that. We've got stuff that's right off the shelf that we use sometimes, and that's perfectly fine. It's just when I'm doing something as specific as this is, I kind of want to... Pacific, yes, it's Pacific Ocean. When we're cooking in the ocean like we are today, now I like to kind of use my own profile for this to give it the flavors that I want. And that's exactly what you should do, is you should give it the flavors that you want. There we are, a little bit left over, but that's okay. All right, so our grill's heating up. It's already up to 200 degrees, which is fantastic. It's actually warming up pretty good. Partly because the sun's out, the grill's black, it heats it up fast.
That's why we're black all the time in the winter.
That's right. So we're gonna give that, 5-10 minutes. Let the dry rub soak in a little bit. We'll show you what's going on with that in just a minute. But before we go to that, if you would come over here with me, please. We were on a chat recently, and we were talking about walkers and things like that, whatever. I won't go into the deep conversation there, but Mr. John Beck said something about adding a horn to my walker to get people to move out of my way when I'm walking through the store. Well, this is my Disney princess horn. That is on my walker. And I do have a bell. Unfortunately, the bell has come loose, so I've got to tighten that up again, but you guys get the idea. We got a bell on there too. So John Beck.
If his clothes isn't loud enough.
Yeah, because if I don't dress in loud enough colors, I got to have more sounds. Yes. I just wanted to show you Mr. John Beck that, because he's been a loyal follower of ours, as well as the other channels that are in our community, and we just wanted to give him a shout out for that. So 5-10 minutes, we'll get the meats on. So we're ready. I think the grill's about 250-ish degrees or so. That's kind of the neighborhood we're going to be shooting for today. We like the low and slower ribs. Of course, we've got to try to crank the heat up a little bit because of the coldness out here, but I think we can handle that just fine.
It's cold. Can we high and fast?
Yeah, you want to jump inside there? Yeah, no. So here we go. We're going to put our ribs on. I'm going to start these off with the bone side down. No particular reason other than bone side down. And as you can imagine, being as our heat source is over here, our smokestack is over there, we are going to need to rotate these throughout the day to get more even cooking. So we'll be doing that from time to time. We're probably not going to show you that part of it because you've seen us do that 1,000 times. You don't need to watch that again. Going to add a little more apple chip just to get our smoke rolling out of here. Get a little more heat, a little more smoke, more apple chip, more apples. More flavor. So in the meantime, we're gonna spritz these. We're probably just gonna put a straight apple juice on these, because apple works good with pork, as we've talked about in the past. So that'll be our spritz that we'll use, or our mist, if you want to say misty. I got a new misty. I'm gonna try it out today and see how that works. We'll rotate, we'll flip, we'll even cook them until they're about 3 hours in, when the bones are starting to pull back a little bit. Once that happens, we'll show you what we're gonna do to these ribs next, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Stay tuned. All right, so we're about an hour into this, maybe a little bit less, just a little bit. So we're going to rotate our rack and give them Misty 2.0. And you can see they're already starting to cook. You can see there's a bit of color forming on them, which is good. That's what we want. We got to get them turned around so they cook evenly.
Turn the ribs around.
We're not sponsored by this song. Anyway, yeah, we got. Oh my gosh, that's one big problem too. Like I told you guys, this cold is not good for me, and then my stuff does not like to function when it's this cold. Anyway, so there they're turned around a little bit. We give them a little mist, just to keep that moisture content up. And this is just straight apple juice. You can use water. You can use apple cider vinegar mix. You can use. You could use beer if you wanted to use that. You can use anything you want. We just happen to have apple juice, so we give it apple juice. Here we go, and hurry up and wait once again.
Yay! Got to get the asthma out of the system, you know.
Hold on, let me get my asthma out. All right, so we're about an hour and a half into these ribs, and it's time to get the secret ingredients going. Are you ready? I'm ready. Check this out. We're using peanut butter and jelly. Now I've taken probably about equal portions of each. We're using grape jelly. You use the jellies that you like, and she's gonna have a little taste test of the peanut butter. Make sure that that's of adequate
tastes like peanut butter.
Yeah. And the reason we're getting this together early, we're not gonna be putting this on for probably another hour and a half, but we want to warm it up so the peanut butter gets a chance to melt and do its gooiness.
I mean, it's hard to warm out here.
Well, trust me, I got it figured out. We're gonna use some of this stuff too. This is the Worcestershire Sauce.
Worcestershire.
Hopefully I can please Helen by the way I said that. But there isn't drug instructions on here. I'm trying to learn to read, and this one says shocky the bottle. So we'll have to get the battery jumper cables out and shocky the bottle. No, shake the bottle, okay. So we're gonna shake the bottle just a little bit. Now I'm only adding some liquid to this just because I wanted to thin it out a little bit for what we're gonna be using it for. This will add a little bit of flavor as well. You can use more of the apple juice that we've got out here. You could use beer, you could use water, you could use nothing.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get a spoon.
Yeah. No taste testing. Not this stuff.
Not that.
Oh, okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna whisk this from time to time to keep it mixed, get it mixed up and everything. But to warm it up, come on over here to the grill. We're gonna put this right on the grill with the food. Hopefully that will
work.
Yep, that'll work just fine. Okay. Now we're gonna flip our ribs as well while we're here and got the lid open, just to see how they're coming on the other side and to give it more even cooking.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, they're starting to get some nice color to them. Cooking a little slower, just a hair slower than I want them to, but that's all right. They're going to be just fine.
Peanut butter's already going.
Yeah, the peanut butter's going to melt pretty quick. We might have to move that to the other side. But we're going to give that a little bit.
Why not up top there?
I just don't know if it'll fit on the rack. So we got to get some more fuel in there so we get some more smoke going. We'll probably rotate those racks one more time. We'll get that peanut butter warmed up. We'll stir it as it goes along. We'll show you what that looks like in about another half an hour-ish and go from there. So we're pushing 3 hours on this, more or less. We'll see how we're doing here. You can see we got our
chocolate.
Yeah, it looks like it, don't it? You can see there's still quite a bit of moisture in those ribs. We've been misting those, and they've been looking pretty good. So our next step that we want to do is we want to start adding this peanut butter mix.
Can we do a chocolate one next?
We'll see. I know Robbie would love that. He likes chocolate covered bacon. So.
I love chocolate.
Yeah. So we've been whisking this, and it's warmed up. And we're going to use this just like we would a barbecue sauce. You've seen us do that in the past, so you kind of know how that works. I'm sure you've probably done it if you barbecue at all. We're just going to layer that on there. And we're going to do this several times over the next hour or so. We'll probably do it 2 or 3 times on one side in the first half hour. Flip them over, do them on the other side 2 or 3 times for the next half hour, and then we'll move on to our next step. But you can see that stuff's thin enough where it should penetrate the meat real nicely and everything. And I'm going to grab my glove here quick so I can pull that off, because if I leave that on there, it's probably going to start to burn.
Yeah, it already is around the edge.
Yeah, it's got a little crispy. So we'll put that right over there, and we'll warm it up for a minute or 2 every time we need it. Man, I'm really curious how this one's going to turn out. Yeah, it looks really good.
I want a chocolate one next. Yeah, that'll be next year.
The demands I get put through sometimes.
That'll be next year, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Too cold now.
Maybe we'll do that. What's that hazelnut stuff? That Nutella or whatever.
Nutella? Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll try that sometime.
That'd be a good one.
Well, in the meantime, you guys see what's going on here. We're gonna let that glaze on there for about 15 minutes. We'll put another layer on, turn them around, give it another 15 minutes or so. We'll flip them over and do it again. We'll show you what that looks like and what we do next. We're enjoying our day so far?
No, I'm cold.
I'm cold. Nice to meet you, cold. So we're pushing almost 4 hours into this, and we've as we said we were going to do, we put the peanut butter jelly spread on there a couple of times on each side, flipped them over, did all that, turned them around. So let's show you what we got so far. And I'm trying to add more fuel to this because we're really struggling to keep temperatures going. But take a look at those so far.
Yummy.
What do you
Oh,
think?
God, I can't see.
Can't see, huh?
Milk in my eyes.
All right. What do you think? How do they
Look
so
good.
far? They look very good so far, huh?
Peanut buttery.
Peanut buttery, that's my favorite. All right, so we're going to Texas cheat these now. Now, you've seen us do the Texas cheat before. We've always used aluminum foil. Can you put a hand on those just for a minute? Thank you. Well, today we're going to use butcher paper. Now, some people say that a true Texas cheat is aluminum foil, and some people say that, oh, you got to use butcher paper because what that'll do is that'll let it breathe a little bit and not just flat out steam them. I'm not sure I agree with one, the other, or whatever, because I've never actually tried this recipe number 1 with ribs the other. Okay, so we're going to wrap them in butcher paper. We're going to put them right back on the grill.
That won't like burn off or anything?
Well, theoretically, no.
Huh.
Okay. I mean, we're not running high enough temperatures to cause that to combust.
Yeah, not enough fire.
Right. There we go. There's our second rack. I'll cut this one a little shorter, it looks like, but it's still enough. So, we're going to give this a shot. We're going to let these do their thing and do their magic inside of this butcher paper.
Sprinkle their spells.
Probably for another hour. As you can see, if you look, it's getting a little bit darker, or not as light out as it was earlier when the sun was high up in the sky.
Sorry, explain you guys.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go as long as we can out here, and if we have to, we'll take them in the house and show you what they look like in there. In the meantime, we've got an hour to sit back and relax. We've got a fire going over there. We made some popcorn.
I've been playing Animal Crossing.
She's been playing Animal Crossing. Don't prioritize.
Hey, get something else to do.
It passes the time away. Otherwise, you just sit back and relax and wait for things to happen. A little cold out, so if you do get cold, you can go in the house and chill out in there.
They can't go in the house.
No, I can't go in the house. I got to stay out here and tend to the fire.
No, they can't come with us.
Oh, no,
in the house.
no. You got to go in your own house. But I mean, if you're doing a project like this, and it is cold like it is here, you can warm up in the house for a little bit because now you don't have anything to tend to other than making sure your temperatures stay reasonably warm. We're not as concerned about the temperature as we would be during the first few hours. Smoke is irrelevant at this point because they're wrapped up and they won't get any smoke to them anyway. So we just want to get them, I'm probably going to try to run this up about 300 degrees to basically bake them inside the butcher paper. Anyway, we'll see how this goes and we'll show you what it looks like in about an hour. Well, we're about 45 minutes or so into our Texas cheat and the sun's going down, the temperature is dropping out here.
I'm cold.
And unfortunately, ooh, hiccups, excuse me. Unfortunately, I just can't add enough fuel and can't keep enough stoke to keep the temperature up. So we're going to pull them off, see what they look like. If they still need to cook, we're going to take them in the house and cook them in the oven. because
Don't need to cook, please.
we've got all the smoke flavor we need. We got all the peanut butter and jelly in done. Let's take a look. We'll just go over to the table here and quick see what we got.
Behind you.
I'm gonna grab a knife real quick and we'll cut into one of them and just see what they look like. So again, this is a little different Texas cheat on ribs for me. I've never done this. I've never done peanut butter and jelly ribs. And full disclosure, I know I got the inspiration to do this from Mickey, but he got his inspiration from somebody that we've got our inspiration from over the years, the Barbecue Pit Boys. So a shout out to them as well, because, you know, and I could have gone and watched their video to see what these are supposed to turn out like. Take a look at that. Well, I'm going to put some other gloves on.
That looks great.
Because these things are going to be a mess. And they look amazing. But I don't think they're done yet.
I hope they are.
So I recommend if you're going to make these and eat these, you either serve gloves with them.
A bib.
And a bib and a mop.
Some hair ties.
Exactly. You got the idea. But they look fantastic. The smell is just incredible. All right. Let's see what we got. I'm going to try to keep this paper around in case I need to take them in the house. There we go. There. Okay. Let's just see what we got here. Go to the side here for a minute. There we are. Get that out of the way. Now they look great. Normally when we're looking at ribs and we're trying to determine if they're done or not, we're going to look back here and we're going to see the bone, the meat pulling back on the bones. Well, these things are so darn thick, the way that they're cut, that I just don't know if that's going to happen or not. And that's all right. You know, and we can go to internal temperatures, and we can do this, and we can do that to check all these things.
They look done.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Might just be me, though.
I don't think they're fall off the bone done yet.
It doesn't need to be fall off the bone. It's nonsense.
Oh, wow. Wow. Here, take a bite of that. I'll hold it for you.
Those are good.
That's
They're
really
sweet.
That's really good.
I don't think anything else.
Maybe we should just call them done.
Yeah, I think we should.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hungry. We'll have dinner.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I'd eat that with like some cheese sauce almost.
Take a look at that though. I could have used a little more heat. I did add some cayenne pepper to it, to the dry rub. Could have used a little more heat. But they are incredible. They taste
just a tiny bit of salt.
Yeah, maybe just a hit more salt. But, you know, and they are super sticky, messy.
I can't wait to eat them more.
Yeah. I think I'll eat it now.
Really?
I gotta apologize for eating in front of you? No.
Hey, I know what's coming. I can wait.
Yeah. There is a little tug left to them. And
You got some up here.
I probably got some everywhere.
You got some for later.
Exactly. There is a little tug left to them. And some purists, when it comes to ribs, will tell you you should have some tug, not fall off the bone. Personally, I like fall off the bone ribs.
They look easy to pull off.
I mean, you're going to fight with them a little bit. And the fact that they're sticky and juicy. Oh, gosh. The fact that they're as sticky and juicy as they are, you're probably going to wear a lot of it.
That's okay.
I think it'd be all right.
That means they're delicious.
They are very
You're
good.
wearing some right now.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. I'll leave it right there as a.
Okay.
That's a badge of honor. All right, guys.
I might put an arrow there just so you guys know.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, that's good. That's good. So, big shout out again. Thank you, Mickey, and the Storage Brats, for giving us a little inspiration to try something we've never done before. And you know, in the long run, that's what we want to do for you guys as well, is to try something you haven't tried. Step out your comfort zone a little bit.
Except when it's this cold out.
Yeah, she's freezing. It's going to be dark in about another half hour. So we're going to wrap it up, head inside, and enjoy these ribs.
Yes.
So, excuse me. You guys know what to do with the ring-a-dings and the thumbs and all those good things that you guys do all the time for us. Can't thank you enough. Please keep sharing our videos.
Thanks for getting us to 700.
We finally broke 700. Isn't that great? Love and support of the community has been an amazing thing for us. We want to continue to grow this community so we can share that with even more people. In the meantime, we appreciate you being here. Thanks for joining us. Share the video. And remember, gang, I mean, we just did it. We proved it. We can do it. You can do it too. Get on out there and try. Take care.